Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. That song that was playing, I got from a free uh, website, Audio Blocks. It's non-copyrighted music, so YouTube and Twitch don't get mad. Hey Maureen, it's still awake. Stayed awake just for me. Hey Michelle, Farm D girl. Hey, I got some good news and some bad news. Hey Molly, thanks for joining me. You can see over my shoulder here, that's the infrared satellite. That's because we're losing daylight for the visible. So, as you can see across the screen at the top, the current info, wind sped up from 40 to 45. The pressure dropped. Earlier it was like 105, dropped to, or it went up to 106, then dropped to 103. It's down to 1001 millibars. That's good. It's slowed down though, from 5 miles per hour down to 3. Still moving west, so that's good. And since it's slowed down, that means more time over the Gulf waters, which means stronger. The bad news is, as you look at that satellite view, notice there's no storms on the top. It's a pocket of dry air. And I'll go ahead and show you, let me change scenes here. You guys probably heard that girl that lives here with her loud truck. Now it's not stalling, but let me bring this down. Y'all can see it, and I'll stop it and show you the water vapor. See all these pretty colors on the west, south, east. Notice this gray area up on the north side of it. That's dry air. It's not real dry. Down at the surface, one of the buoys that's right here south of Mobile is showing me dew points in the 70s. But this is upper level dry air. And that's the reason why this thing isn't ramping up all the way around. So it's trying. I mean, there's some storms over here on an outer band that's starting to pop up. Let me turn off the satellite and I'll turn on the radar. Now the low, the center of it, is going to be right there. So as you can see, there's storms over here on the east side, and then this outer band, this curve to the right. That's an outer band, and that's trying to wrap around. So, with the heating of the day, I think this thing is going to overcome that dry air on the north side, especially now that it's slowed down a little bit more. No, it's going due west. It's going due west right now. There is some, let me bring this down here. With these outer bands, that means the winds are circling around that direction. Hey, thanks. Thanks for hosting. Appreciate it, Molly. So there is a tiny bit of storm surge right here in Gulfport Bay. And I don't know why that's not showing you what I'm pointing out. Do this. Program wants to be stubborn. Try this again. Low back up here. And you can see this outer band here, and as that's spinning around, there is some winds going that direction. So right up here in the bay at Gulfport, there is a tiny bit of storm surge already. It's only 1 to 1.1 feet foot. So it's not real strong yet. But this thing is still 90 miles away. It's about 90 miles south of Gulfport, or the mouth of the Mississippi. Let me go ahead and I'll switch on visible. Nope, too late. No sunshine. But I tell you what I can do. Hang tight. Let me bring up a web page. I got a web page that I can even see visible satellite after dark. Now this thing looks ugly. Let it load up all the frames and then it'll go into motion. I'll load up 36 frames. You can see how these outer bands up here at the top, they're trying to form low pressure, or the center of it would be about right there. So I'll stop this. And this is the outer band I'm talking about. Okay. That's one of them. There's another one here. Another one here. That's a good thing. Another one up here. So it's starting to try to wrap around. And I think because of the heating of the day is really started to spark this thing. And I'm hoping it's going to overcome that dry air. I'll let it reload the frames. But let me show you something that's really cool. A lot of times when I'm helping the storm chasers, you'll hear me talking about looking at satellite and seeing overshooting tops. when the storm gets so high in altitude that it has to bust out and start it spreading, that's an overshooting top. I'll show you some. And that's the going to be the top of the thunderstorm. One right here. There's several right in there. And then you got all these down here. Let me get rid of that low. See how they're all rough looking on top? Instead of being real smooth like this area here. Rid of that low. And you can see these streaks of bands. And they're starting to get overshooting tops. So even though it's ugly and elongated, that's not a typical tropical storm looking to be a hurricane. Hey, Etchy. But there again, the center's about right there. And these thunderstorms, matter of fact, there's a line of thunderstorms cutting through Baton Rouge in Lafayette right now. That's this band here. But we're getting all these streaks. And then real light, we got these outer bands up here. So it's trying to wrap up. It really is. Now let's go to National Hurricane Center. You see this little yellow X down here. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. That's just west of Africa, out there in the Atlantic. And it's only got a 10%. Something to keep an eye on. But we'll go up to my tropical storm. Now the bad news. Oh, really, Nola? Yeah, there was tornado warning up in New Jersey, but it's already been canceled. Let me go to a different one. Here comes the bad news. You know how earlier I said right before it made landfall, it was going to go Cat 1, which means it had an H on this line here. Oop, let me do something here. I got to turn something on the center of the cone. You don't see no H on there no more. They're all S's. Tropical storm. Then northern Louisiana is a D. Depression. No longer calling for a hurricane. But what kills me that I can't understand. Now they came out with this on the last advisory, which just came out 29 minutes ago. They didn't update the forecast cone, except for they changed that S right there, or they changed the H for hurricane to an S. But what I don't understand, and I want to show this to you here on my GR Earth. Oh, daggone it. I forgot to turn that off. Right here, there's that letter T. That was an H. And when I put my pointer, it says 75 knots. Okay, let me bring up my calculator. Now remember, Cat 1 is 74 miles per hour or better. 75 knots, 86.3 miles per hour. Now, how is that not a Cat 1? Remember on the, there you go. So I don't totally agree with them. Yeah, someone goofed because if they got that 75 knots, that's 86.3 miles per hour. Now let me bring up the Saffir-Simpson scale, and here at the bottom, look at that for a Cat 1, 75 to 95 is a Cat 1. So somebody messed up. Either they didn't update it right, or the battery in their damn calculator died. Something. Now, Saturday night, Weather Channel is saying it will be onshore at 70 mile per hour. So yes, that would be a tropical storm level. Well, it's got me a little confused because I think I know my weather. I don't know it all, you know. I'm not a hurricane specialist, but I know enough to know that 75 knots in mile per hour is a Cat 1. So NHC, you need to correct that. Now here's GR level 3. This is off of Lake Charles. Oh, really, Nola? I mean, them boys work hard in the NHC. And I was watching the Weather Channel, and they even had the director of the National Hurricane Center on there. And he was talking about it. But yet, he didn't explain it. I don't know. The last advisory was just a intermediate advisory. But the next official advisory won't be until 10 o'clock. But right there, that's GR level 3 looking at Lake Charles. And you can see this line of thunderstorms. That's on the outer band. I'll switch over here to New Orleans. Now, see, it's still too far away down here to actually catch it. Like I say, it's 90 miles away from the mouth of the Mississippi. But this is a really strong outer band, and all that's going south. Here's another look from New Orleans radar site. And you can see there how it's kind of curving around as it's heading south. So that's an outer band. Let me double check. I knew they was a little bit ago. I was asked if the hurricane hunters were still out. Let me show you. Take a look. Okay, Nola. and see if they're done with Mission 5. Yeah, they've got 2 up. Yeah, Mission 5 is still out there. And I'll click on Mission 6, and it's still out there. So they have 2 planes out there right now. Do, 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 do. Now this doesn't tell me their altitude. Oh, the new Common Core on the math. Yeah, God. And I'll switch back over to Mission 5. And there you can see how they're crisscrossing. And if you look real close, you'll see a hurricane symbol here. And that's right where they're crisscrossing, right in the center. So they found the center of it. Now this plane came out of Tampa, Florida. Mission 6 flew out of Gulfport. I tell you what, when my oldest daughter was in high school and she was getting confused with this new modern math, I told her the way that I learned not only in high school but college, and it made sense to her. But then when she got to school, she got her butt chewed out because she wasn't doing it that teacher's way. But yet, every time she had the correct answer and did it faster than what the teacher could. Okay, it's still listed as 90 miles south of the mouth of the Mississippi River. So we covered the storm hunters. Oh yeah, let's look at the models. Here's the GFS, and this has got making landfall about 7 in the morning. Now, on the Weather Channel, they was talking about Saturday night. This model, as you can see, this L here, that's making landfall at 12Z. 12Z Central Time is 7 o'clock in the morning. Now we'll look at the Euro. Again, at 12Z, making landfall. The only difference now between these 2 models is this Euro is got it west of New Orleans. Okay? We'll go back to the GFS. This has got it closer to New Orleans. Not by much. It's pretty doggone close. Euro's more over here. And I was talking to Nathan and a few others here several days ago. They said, well, the GFS isn't showing anything. I said it won't. The Euro will start showing tropical weather. And it's been, for the most part, there was a couple run in the past 4 days that it shifted way west. But for the most part, the Euro has had it coming in the central part of Louisiana coast for the most part the past several days. The GFS finally about 3 days ago started showing it, but it started showing it coming this way. Then it started showing it. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. I didn't want to bring that up. That's one of the soundings. We'll get into the soundings another time. But hey, this is the Euro, and you can see it's bringing it more in the center, right where it's been talking about most of the time. And eventually, the GFS, and this is what I was explaining to several people the other day. Eventually, the GFS will start merging and coming together with some of the other models, including the Euro. And when they get this close together, I mean, they're not that far apart. You know, the GFS, put it in yellow, is about right there. So they're really close. I get really confident when they start getting that doggone close. I'm real confident that it's going to go somewhere in that area, unless they change by tomorrow. But at this point, I've got it in between Lafayette and New Orleans. It might shift. It could go over to Lake Charles. Actually, there is a model. It's the UK Met model. It's got it going to near Houston over in Texas. I never look at that model. Yeah, if I was to guess right now, let me bring up DR3 here. Okay, right here, that's Lafayette. Right there where they're got the storm coming in. How appropriate that they finally named this storm after me. Yeah, I don't know, man. This thing is so ugly. So it kind of matches, you know. Like I said earlier, it's a week old fart. And it's ugly. It might get pretty, but I never will. But actually, the Euro has it, the center of it now. Remember, I'm only talking about the center. Is going to be coming in east side of Lafayette. But now remember, I'm only talking about the center of it. If this thing is 100 miles wide, that's 50 miles on either side of center. So it can cover a lot of ground with a lot of flooding. And then down here along the beach, there's already a storm surge warning of 3 to 6 feet all along the bottom of this going all the way around here. So, like I said earlier, looks like it's going to mainly be a major flood event. Will we get to see the eye of the hurricane? Don't know. Still too early. Still too early. I got the feeling 10 o'clock tonight there's going to be a major change, not only in the tropical storm, but the forecast from NHC, the National Hurricane Center. Uh, don't know. It's too early. I mean, if it out here get the Hurricane Center stuff off, turn the satellite back on. That dark gray, that's dry air. Uh, if it overcomes that dry air, like I say, the low about right, right there, and we've got these outer bands. They're trying to wrap around. So if these outer bands can come in and wrap around that thing tonight, yes, it will get an eye. Yeah, this is a real strange critter. Speaking of that, let me show you something. If I can remember, get my screen up here. Let's get the interactive, and I'll put the this overlay on it. Yeah, we don't want that one. Pass track. And it won't give it to me. Doggone it. It won't give me pass track. Alright, I'll explain it. If it would allow me to click on pass track, it would show you the path of where it got to. But I'll show you here. Let's do this in yellow. So basically, this upper level spinning disturbance came from up here. Then it came around and it came down to Georgia. Hey, that's a song. Then it came around like this. It's the first tropical storm that I have ever done that formed over the U.S. first and went to the Gulf and then tried to blow its top. Yeah, Becky, I can show you that. Let me get back to GR Earth. Zoom out. Turn to National Hurricane Center. Get rid of the satellite. Now these different color dots, those are the different models. Okay, you can see this one here up here in central Indiana. That's a D. That stands for depression. The green dot right next to Louisville, that's the DFS. That's a D for depression. So it looks like several of these models. Now, this white dot with a D in it, that's the National Hurricane Center forecast. So you got all these different dots showing that this storm is coming up. DFS has it Cincinnati, the TVCN model, which is a collection of modules, is coming up your way, Becky, towards Toledo. The blue dots, that's the HWFI model, has it going through Chicago as a depression and clear up into Michigan. So, yeah, Becky, me and you, we're definitely going to see some rains. And if it comes towards me as a depression, I'm going to see some really strong rain and some strong winds out of it. Oh, you ought to see all the models. They're spaghetti models, and they call it spaghetti models for a good reason. They look like spider legs coming out from where the storm is now and going all different directions. The program I used to use 2 years ago, I could show you that. It's crazy. But yeah, there's a good chance that I'm going to see this thing come all the way up and hit me as a depression. I wish they would have let me click on past tracks. Won't let me do it. Track, wind watches and warnings, storm surge. I'm turning all the goodies on. Yeah, a lot of the models that show crazy directions, they really don't go by them too much. What the National Hurricane Center will do will take all the models and kind of put it in one lump sum and then guess which way it's going to go. Now you can see this dark pink here. That's the storm surge warning. The light pink is a storm surge watch. Something going on. And my Twitter's blowing up. Well, I guess I should have changed screens here. Sorry. My Twitter was going off. Here's the dark pink storm surge warning. Light pink storm surge watch. And there is our hurricane warning, last that I heard. Now, do I have anybody in the chat or anybody that's watching that lives down there in Louisiana? Hey, Mond. You live in Louisiana? Nola, you live in Louisiana? I thought you lived somewhere else. Now I'll explain something. I mean, this looks meaner than all bejeebas. What I'm looking at, this is the infrared satellite view. The sun's going down. I can't get visible. So the brighter the color, uh, the higher the cloud tops are. And it's telling me that because the taller the cloud tops, the colder they are. So infrared shows temperature. Southwest side of Lake Pontchartrain. You better get the heck out of there tomorrow. Be sure phones are charged up. Be sure you have emergency supplies. Ah, why is my mic cutting out? Hang on. Let me reset. I'm not going to drop. Okay. Is there a chance it will go south more? I don't think so. It's been going due west all day. Okay, Nolo. You know what to do. Great. Thank you. Because I was going to start worrying. I mean, this thing don't look like much. It could come in still as a strong Cat 1. It's the flooding. The axe is in the attic so you can break out. Yeah, the flooding is in the storm surge is what I'm really worried about. Already they're calling for 2 to 4 feet storm surge on Lake Pontchartrain. Lake, Lake Pontchartrain. That's going to be part of the wraparound. Now, everybody thinks, well, a lot of people think that once this thing makes landfall uh, and goes away, that it's done. It's not. Um, Once it goes further north, remember it's a low pressure system and it's going to wrap around. So after this thing gets up to the north, then you got the winds wrapping around the west, around the south, and coming back up. So you'll start getting the wraparound winds that'll cause more storm surge. The worst part is in the northeast quadrant, always. But it's that wraparound that can also get you. Yeah, Katrina. Now that wraparound is not going to be near as strong typically, but it's still going to cause a lot of storm surge. And right now, if you look at this silly thing, which I haven't got a chance to look at the dropsons, but that northeast quadrant right now, at this point, is weak, not really strong winds. That south side, where all those bright colors are, that's got lots stronger winds in it. So at this point, the west and the south side, I don't know why my mic's cutting out. But anyway, the west side and the south side is a lot stronger right now. Yeah, this one's nuts. Doggone it. My mic keeps cutting out, and I don't know why. It's not clipping now. Well, those more potent cells are wrapping around it. They're all going to wrap around the center of the circulation. So they're not going to merge. It's going to draw them in. And actually, all the stuff you see, that's part of the outer bands. Let me zoom out. You can see these outer bands, they stretch way south over on that east side. At this point, no. I don't think it'll be a big tornado producer. It could still do it. Daggone it. I don't know why my microphone is cutting out. Let me dump some programs here. But typically, the best tornado chance is going to be in that northeast quadrant. And right now, that being so weak, I don't think it's going to do anything. But overnight, if this thing continues to totally wrap around and that northeast quadrant gets stronger before it turns back north, then yes, it'll definitely produce some. Yeah, you'll hear me talk during a storm chase about a bow echo, and there can be quick spin ups on the leading edge of that bow. It's basically the same thing on the outer bands. The outer bands will be where the tornadoes will come from, and they'll be on the outside edge of that band or the leading edge. So basically, it's the same thing as a bow echo during severe storms. Not cutting out there? Boy, it's cutting out in my headphones. Okay, Molly. Thanks a lot. I'll be darned. Well, for some reason, it's cutting out in my headphones, and I don't know why. Alrighty, folks. That's all I got for now. Any more questions? Oops, hit the wrong button. Hey, no problem, Nola. That's the reason why I'm here. Every time I learn something new, uh, I like to spread the news. Just like yesterday, I learned that on top of a hurricane or a strong tropical storm, they'll actually get a high pressure on top, and it acts like a hat, and it'll keep any of the wind shear away from it. Hey, no problem, Maureen. I'm glad I'm back on too. I'm struggling to pay the bills and get the parts ordered that I need. Uh, I'm a long way from it. I think I've only got $70 so far out of 500. So I'm really struggling to keep my stream going. Yeah, thanks, Michelle. If y'all haven't followed yet and you like what you see, please hit the follow button on Twitch, like button, or the subscribe button on YouTube. And before I sign off, like I say, if you love this channel and you're learning and you would like to support me, you can either donate at streamlabs.com/bgradewx, subscribe here on Twitch, either to Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, or just donate some bits here on Twitch. It all really helps, and I greatly appreciate it. And it'll keep me coming to you. I'll be doing a whole bunch more streaming here soon when we get the new TV channel going. So with that, if there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it for tonight and try to get me some rest and get something to eat. So thanks again, everybody on YouTube and Twitch. And I'll be broadcasting tomorrow. Now, my schedule is 2 and 8. I might do an earlier stream tomorrow. Maybe more around noon Eastern. Depends on what happens tonight. And I know Nathan's going to be hopefully down there in the morning. So I'll probably do an early stream. I'll still do my about 10 after 2 and 10 after 8 updates. And then Saturday, I'll be streaming for hours and hours as I'm helping Jen and Nathan. So thanks again, everybody. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully on a chase. Good night, and God bless.